And I'll leave your thing alone. And ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And this house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. What's up, guys? It is Saturday, August 31st, 2024. We're at the Bitcoin block height of 859,307. Today's Bitcoin price is just under 59,000, just like last week, 58,900 and something. And for $1, guys, $1, you can get just a shade under 1,700 Satoshi, 1,696 Satoshis for $1. My goodness, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Satoshi Saturday. I had to shoot this video 3 times because every time I shot it, somebody was asking me a question. But the show must go on. As you can see, it is dark out here today. It's not nighttime, but ain't no sunshine. And speaking of ain't no sunshine, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. The bear market, when she's gone, ain't no sunshine. It's the opposite for me. During the bear market of 2022 and 2023, that was my beginning stages of Bitcoin. For those of you that don't know, I started buying in February of 2021. And within a little more than a year, I think it was a year and some change, in May of 2022, Bitcoin crashed down, started crashing down from the 50s, 60s, 40s, and then got into the 30s. And then, of course, we had the FTX debacle and everything else. And from around May of 2022 all the way up until about November of 2023, about an 18-month window there, it was considered a bear market. And that was rough, man. I've been in Bitcoin for a little over 3.5 years, so half of my time in Bitcoin has been during a brutal bear market, and I learned a lot during that time. And the reason I'm making this video is because I'm sad. I wish I had that time back. You know, I wish that I can get 3,000, 4,000 Satoshis for $1 like I was back then. Even when it dropped down to 17,000, 16,000, 15,000, I was getting over 5,000 Satoshis for $1. Boy, I miss those days. And I believe that this right here, what we're going through now in the 50s and the 60s and touching the 70s, I believe that's the new 20s, 30s, and 40,000. It's a $30,000 difference. But I believe we'll be looking back one day at these times right here, because we've been doing this almost 7 months now. Ever since a little after the, sorry about the wind, guys. A little after the Bitcoin ETF was launched in January 11th, 2024. Excuse me for the wind again. A couple of months after that, that's when it started hitting. I believe it was February or March. And ever since then, we've been kind of like in this lull, even though we went up, from November all the way until then. And, it touched 40s, I think, a couple of times, but it's been trading in this range. It got up to 73,800, but now it's trading within the low 50s, high 60s for 6 or 7 months. And everybody's like, what's going on? Bitcoin's stuck. It's not doing anything. Guys, listen, man, this reminds me so much of that 18-month period that I went through that I told you about earlier, from May 2022 till November 2023, that it just seemed like Bitcoin wasn't going to go anywhere. You know what I mean? And it was so boring. And I look back on that, even though I was stacking pretty hard, I could have stacked harder. You know what I mean? And, for those of you that don't know, I was stacking precious metals at the time. I got into Bitcoin based on the knowledge I learned from, stacking precious metals and everything. That was like my starter drug or whatever. And if you haven't watched all my Satoshi Saturday videos, I talk about that and all those. Check that out. And as I was learning, I was still holding on to my precious metals during that time. And I ended up selling all my precious metals. I started buying in the summer of 2020, late July of 2020, and I sold them all in October of 2023, right before the bear market ended. So I sold, and I was selling up until that point. I was selling it in 2021, a little bit here and there, 2022, 2023, and I got the prices in the 20s and 30,000s trading in my precious metals. But I didn't stack hard enough looking back on it. I could have did more, because in the beginning of even 21, 22, I was still buying precious metals, and I could have deployed that into Bitcoin and not paid those, those fees I was paying for the metals. But it is what it is. But I'm here to tell you that if you're new, or if you're even older or whatever, you need to understand what you got going on here and where you're at on the timeline. If somebody would have told me back in those times I just talked about in that timeline, that in 2024 we're going to be in the 60s and the 70s and the 50s, I mean, I would have believed it, of course. But if they would have told me that for sure, I probably would have stacked harder. You know what I mean? And I knew it would be, but I just didn't. And then, we're going to have a Bitcoin ETF. I definitely would have stacked harder. Well, not only do we have the Bitcoin ETF, but we got so many other things going on. We got presidential candidates talking about Bitcoin. We got a bunch of ETFs. We got the Wells Fargo. Was it Wells Fargo? Yeah, I believe it was Wells Fargo. ETF. Or was it Morgan Stanley? One of them. Selling their ETFs next month in September. And these countries are taking over, buying Bitcoin, and nation states and governments. And it's just getting crazy what's going on with this. And I still can't believe that, even comparing it to that timeline before, the 50s, 60s, and even when it hits the 70s, it's still a deal, guys. It's still getting over 1,000 Satoshis for $1, man, and not to be over 100,000. It's amazing to me. And I'm telling you, this is the cycle, guys, that again, every single epoch, because we're in epoch 5 right now, every epoch we add a number, we add a 0. And the last epoch, we got up to 69,000, and we still haven't hit our all-time high yet, even though we went up to 73,800. Adjusted for inflation, compared to the 69,000 and some change in the year 2021, adjusted for inflation, that's not the high. The high would be like 79,000, again, adjusted for inflation. And we haven't hit that yet. And we will add another 0 in this epoch. Epoch 5, we will get over 100,000. I think we're going to get well into the 100,000. Some people think we're going to hit 1 million. I'm not in that camp, but I think we're going to burn some faces off, and I think we're going to hit in the high hundreds of thousands. And again, a cycle is 4 years. We're just starting off. We're in the first, I believe, 6 months. It was April 19th, 2024 when we had the halving. We started Epoch 5. And now we'll see April, May, June, July, August. So we're 4 months in, something like that. And, it takes about between 6 to 18 months for it to start hitting after the halving. And I'm telling you guys, these prices that we're getting today, we're going to look back at them and say, why didn't we stack harder? So I'm here to remind you that the 50s and the 60s and the 70s are the new 20s, 30s, and 40,000s back in those times. And I'm telling you, and even comparing it to the two 20, 30, 40s versus 50, 60, and 70s versus $300,000, $400,000. It's going to be looking at like pennies. Nobody's even going to care. All they're going to think about is, wow, you got Bitcoin for under 100,000? Really? Like every single Satoshi you're getting over 1,000 for every dollar. You're getting Bitcoin, you're buying it at under $100,000. And I'm telling you, when you're talking about 8 billion people and only between 14 and 21 million coins, talking about the ones that are lost, this is the deal, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to stay out the wind. It's pretty windy out here. So I'm telling you guys right now, do not look this gift horse in the mouth. Do not pass on this opportunity to get as many Satoshis as you can. We're still at about 0.5% adoption in the whole wide world out of the 8 billion people. And there's billions of people that are unyet born in the next few decades that are going to be Bitcoiners. And you're getting it at a steep discount. And again, it's not about the US dollars. We talk about that because that's our measuring stick and that's what we use to buy and sell things, and that's what we get paid in. But it's all about the purchasing power. Everything in the world is going to be divided by 21 million Bitcoin, or 15 million Bitcoin, or 1.5 quadrillion Satoshis. And one day I think Satoshis are going to be so valuable that they're going to have to move the decimal point back by 1 instead of 8 zeros, or the 8th number behind the decimal point. It might go to 9 or 10 because it's just going to be so valuable. And so many people are going to look at this pristine asset and say, wow, we need it. And I think there's just so many things that we can buy and divide the money by. It's just going to, I'm telling you, man, it may not happen in our lifetime, but I'm definitely going to make a video about that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is unbelievable, what we're going through right now. I look at these prices, and I'm buying all the time. Listen, I told you guys this before. You can buy however you want. You can use Strike, you can use Swan, you can use Cash App, you can use River, you can use any exchange you want, right? Any Bitcoin exchange you want. I personally use Strike. I used to use Swan. I like Swan. If you do use it, I believe it's the first $10,000 you buy are no fees. I'll leave a link for that if you want to use that one. But the one I'm using right now is Strike, man. Strike. I'm telling you guys, I'm buying every hour on the hour, guys. Okay, I'm buying every hour on the hour using my DCAing, my dollar cost averaging, and I'm buying 24 times a day, you know. And after 7 days, you get, or after the 7th day, on the 8th day, you get no fees on your DCAing. So if you got $1 a day, or excuse me, $24 a day, and do $1 an hour, that's a little less than 1,700 Satoshis every hour. And I'm telling you, it'll take people, in a few years, it'll take people 2-3 weeks to earn that kind of money. And I'm talking about those Satoshis. That's why I say the dollars amount for Satoshis, because I am going to make a video here in the future of my first Satoshi Saturday video. I believe it was February 9th. February 10th I made it. I'm going to make a reaction to that video, February 10th, 2028, 4 years later, and see how many Satoshis we can get then in Epoch. I don't know if it'd be Epoch 6 yet, but it'd be close, versus what we could get in 2024. And I'm telling you, it's going to be mind-boggling. So you guys just got to get out here and work hard and understand what you got here. I know the economy is really messed up right now, and inflation's going to be off the chain, out of this world. They're going to print a bunch of money that we're gonna have the supply of money go up so much it's gonna make people's heads spin. We never seen anything like this. And with this election cycle going on and all this crazy stuff, you got to keep your mind focused on the right things. And I'm talking to myself here because I veer off the path sometimes. But you guys got to study this thing. You guys got to study Bitcoin as hard as you can in your spare time. And even if you don't have any spare time, make some more spare time. And then if you are doing BS, just get away from that BS and make some more spare time and to study this thing. And I'm not going to tell anybody to buy it or stack it until you study, obviously. But if I were you, if you don't have 1 million Satoshis, get to that as quickly as you can. My first Satoshi Saturday video, the pilot video, I talk about how to be a millionaire. I'll give you a spoiler alert, get 1 million Satoshis. And that 1 million Satoshis will be much more valuable in the future than $1 million. I'm telling you that. I know that sounds crazy. But your family is going to build statues of you, man, because of the hard work you put in today. I think about the cell phones. I think about the internet. I think about Amazon and these things that I saw as teenagers and when I was in my 20s. I saw these things come up, and the adoption of it was pretty quick. And Bitcoin is even quicker. The internet is information, right? It's an information technology that gives information to everybody around the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But the internet was missing one thing. It was missing money. Even though we use credit cards and stuff like that over the internet and different debit, stuff, and Venmo and stuff like that, we got that down. But a permissionless money, a money that no one can stop. The internet was missing that until January 3rd, 2009. A money for the people, of the people, and by the people, and we have it now. So the internet is complete with information for people around the world, and now a store of value and a medium exchange for people all over the world. And you must, guys, you must study this thing as hard and as fast as you can, because you're the only one. You're the only one in your family that can stack as many Satoshis as you can at these prices. Because once it gets into millions and all this other stuff, I know that sounds crazy, but it's going to be like that. It's going to be. You can get over 1,000 Satoshis for $1, man. Again, study it. Do whatever you can to study it. And I'm out here talking to people, as many people as I can about this. I'm rambling now, but it's so important, guys. I can't say it enough. So I've said this once, and I'll say it 1,000 times, man. Your family, your children, your grandchildren, your great aunts, or your great nephews and nieces, and all this other stuff are going to say one or two things to you. They're going to say, Auntie, Grandma, Grandpa, thank you so much for securing my future and our family's future, for buying that Bitcoin and listening to Jerry on Satoshi Saturday. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Putting my future wealth in a cold storage and stuff like that. Hit Tony up from the Bitcoin Way, link down in the description. 30-minute free call. Thank you so much. Or they're going to say, what were you doing? Why are we working for this stuff? Why weren't you saving it in 2018, 2022, 2028? You were doing stocks and bonds and precious metals and real estate. Why didn't you study Bitcoin? Why didn't you get it for us? But again, if you do it, if you put the work in and get ahead of everybody else, because everybody else is not going to make money off this. They'll have a great savings technology and it'll be great for everybody. But there's going to be a small percentage of people in this world that are going to benefit from early adoption. And I hope to God and I pray it's you. I do. So again, guys, I'm going to say this once, and I said it 1,000 times, guys. Stack Satoshis today. Today. So you don't have to work for those same Satoshis tomorrow. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.